Okay, hello, Benjamin Cowenberg on how organic portals just couldn't create a society and, keep it alive and keep it alive for very long. Okay, so I remember reading in montalk.net, that guy's website, the organic portal article, about how there was one line. It said that organic portals couldn't create a sustainable society or something like that. And I went, oh yeah, I get it. So let's further explore that idea. So basically the idea is that the OP, organic portals, they're too simplistic and dumb, basically, we could summarize, but that's not good enough for your understanding. How this works is that, the spirited human is given vision. For instance, Mendeleev, 3 consecutive daydreams in his third eye or mind sight eye, created the periodic table of elements, or most of it, surrounding the benzene ring, and you can read further into that. However, just note that they were daydreams, like vision daydreams. I have these all the time as a shaman, as you might guess. That's my life. That's what I do. I try to have more daydreams and dream awake at the end of history, right? I'm trying to dream awake all day. And actually, no, let's not talk further about that. So the idea is that, a lot of society, well, actually the core foundations of society have come from visioned people, or, what we called souled humans or spirited humans. HUE_MAN is how I say it. Humans. Men of the hue, insinuating, men of light, we have light bodies, other bodies than the, let's say, the edge you see as a physical body. Anyway, and the idea is that the organic portals are just the physical body, right? There's no ascension, there is no higher light reception. Their pineals do not accept the starlight vibrations. Those vibrations do not project onto their septum pellucidums, and they do not integrate into their higher cortical folds. So actually, if we check everyone's brains after death, which we should do, more people who are spirited humans will have higher cortical folds like Einstein did. They discovered on his brain. I'm sure I have these. And this comes from the integration of more cosmic light. I'm sure of it. So anyway, the organic portals, they're switched off. They're off people. They're background people, as Dolores Cannon called them. Backdrop people from a movie. They get paid $5 just to be there, but they're not the hero in the movie, or the player, or the spirited human, so to speak, or the concrescents, or the concrescences. So the idea is that, they wouldn't get the vision to continue the society. What would be the next move? Would it be left, right? Do we go to war? Do we not go to war? All this stuff, and you can't say war is spiritless as well, because, it takes spirited action to, you've seen the movies, they're all yelling and getting their spirits up before war anyway, so, and don't give up the fight, you know what I mean? It's not unspirited to fight. It is spirited motion to put up a fight, yeah? Not to lay down and die. So, anyway, the organic portals and not being able to create a proper society or sustainable society is something that we can see in the world today. Look at the conditions. Like, I could end the video, yeah? Just on that. Like, that's the proof. It's right in front of you. It's happening all around. So, they've been in charge all the time. The organic portals, it's an organic portal society, yeah? Everything's grey. In Byron Bay in Australia, when you enter there, on the bridge, you get a little bit of colour. Some hippies painted some colour there, some spirited human, and it's nicer to enter. But most places in the world, they're very grey. everything's grey. We could impregnate the concrete, that with colour. Just, everything is square, grey, and it's almost like the Fourth Reich exists, yeah? Right, so these sort of things are pretty obvious to someone who's not a half-wit. You can look around now and you can see what I mean, that, society's quite empty of, spirit and soul, and, people walk around the street not talking, and just check the tone of the whole thing. Every city is a draconian plan for a dead resonance zone. Dead resonance, no resonances, yeah? So when you get a pineal vision, it's to do with a resonance or something of a star, okay? So these organic portals, they don't get vision, like Descartes, yeah? Rene Descartes. Another one. Angel came to him, said the conquest of nature is to be done through number and measure, and he created calculus, the calculus you all use, and I used at university. He created calculus at the rate of a graduate student learning it. So it just poured from him, in other words, it poured out very quickly. And that's how it always happens with vision. Whenever I've done writing in consciousazine, a lot of it's been like, automatic writing, they say, channeled writing and so on. Well, you're channeling the universe if you're a spirited human, parts of it anyway. And the point is that the organic portals do never do this. They do not do this, they never do this. That's why we can see they're an organic portal and just the body. There's no higher light reception coming through. So basically they wouldn't have a society after a while. Any society that was just with organic portals and no spirited human input would become collapsed and just non-existent after a certain amount of time. I notice organic portals also do not pay attention to the cycles of nature. So to keep it very pragmatic right now, nothing to do with symbols in the third eye, just pragmatically they can't see the cycles of nature, or they ignore them because they are the ego. The ego fights against the flow of the universe, seems to think that because it feels like it's aware, it seems to think that it can stop everything through just, thinking about how to stop it or something. But it's on such a low level that there's no way that they actually take into account the cycles of nature, I've noticed, in those thinkings. So their thinking is too small, myopic, which means short-sighted, things like this. So there's another example of how this all works and how they would, just not last. What's another way we can delve into this? That's really the main ways, that they don't pay attention to nature or the inner nature, the light reception I was talking about. They don't get vision, right? If there's no vision, then there's no direction. They are not capable of being steered and guided. They're like the gross waste now at the end of history, which is going to fall off. Half of the world's population is walking themselves into self-destruction. I don't know if you noticed that we're in the apocalypse at the end of history. What we just went through, 2007 to 2017, was an eschaton. An eschaton is a time where people can get upped, can get compressed. People can get behind them. They can get not just like famous or something, but like in the right way. They can accrete energy to save the flow of the universe, basically. Now, what else was I going to say? It's basically that the organic portals are directionless, without direction. Okay, they're not dirigible, they're not capable of being steered and guided. The pineals are calcified, hence they can't be steered or guided by, the starlight, which creates the visions. So, there you have it. That's the main ways, the top approach to see how organic portals just could not build a sustainable society that would last.